Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Bytesize talk. With us today is Nicolas van Nieuwkerke from the Center for Medical Genetics in Ghent. And today he's going to talk about the new topic channels in NF Core modules. And the stage is yours.
Thank you for the nice introduction. So, as Francisca said, we will talk about topic channels today. But first, let's see what the topic channels actually are. So, to quote the documentation directly from the Nextflow documentation, the topic channel is a channel that can receive values from many sources implicitly based on matching topic name. So we will use it mainly to grab the versions from every tool and reference them in another place in our pipeline without having to make channels for every separate flow that has the versions in it and output the versions in every separate flow and have to take the versions to our whole flow to actually process them at the end. Now we can just grab them at the end without having to do the whole flow of it. So for this, I will show an example of how a module can actually be updated to use the topics. So I prepared a nice little module here, which has two versions, as you can see here. The first one is the BedGo VCF, which is the tool itself. And the module also uses bgzip to compress the VCFs. So in this case, we will just remove the old versions here and create two new output channels. So we will create one for the BedGo VCF process. So these always contain first the process name. As a second value, they contain the tool name, which is BedGo VCF for the first one. And the third value is actually the eval output, which actually performs a specific command and outputs the std out of that command to the output of the process. So we'll just copy paste the actual command for this. So let's put it in. Like this. Okay. So then I will just remove the dollar signs here because they are not useful in this case. And this will just output the version of BedGo VCF. Then we will emit it as versions underscore the tool name. So we can specify which version is actually used in this output. And then we will add it to the topic channels called versions. So every time we will reference the versions topic in our workflows or our pipelines later on, it will contain this output. So to add the other one, come on. To add the other output too, we will just update this line, contain bgzip, have this command in there. And then emit it as versions bgzip instead of bedcode bgzip. And of course, partial alignment is always important. Okay, so then we can just remove the versions.yaml code here to make everything a bit cleaner, which is also a nice positive of the topic channels. And then we will actually regenerate the tests of this module. So our NF Core modules test, bedgo VCF updates with the Docker profile in this case. So while this is running, we will actually take a look at the pipeline and how to actually implement the module inside of this pipeline. So for this, I just created the pipeline from the template of the NF Core tools, which contains this part of the code. As you can see here, we actually get the topic channel called versions from this. So this will output everything we put inside of the process earlier on. And it will process it and make it transform it to a YAML file, which then gets used by MultiQC to actually output the tool names. So for this case, we see that fastQC is used. And I will just update the fastQC module now. So NF Core modules update fastQC. So let's wait for it to update. We'll just update it. And then we'll take a look at the actual module in this case. So modules NF Core, fastQC, and main.nf file. And as you can see, it contains one output with the versions topic at the end here. So to run our pipeline, you will see an error now, actually. Let's see it. with an if profile test Docker results. So let's see it running. It takes a while. It ran a bit quicker during my tests, but it should error at any moment now. Okay, I'll just say what the error will be. Here it is. So we say it says that the versions output is not found for the fastqc module, which is correct in this case because fastqc doesn't output versions anymore, but it outputs versions fastqc in this case. So we'll just remove the versions from it, and then it will be able to rerun. So while this is running, let's see if the module tests are done already. So they're still updating, but the snapshot has been updated. And as you can see in the snapshot, the first value contains the process name, the second value of the versions contains the actual tool which you got the version from, and the third value is the actual version. So you should always check that the versions are correct in this case, which is the case in this case. So once this is correct, you can actually just, I'll quit it for now for the demonstration, update the meta.yaml because we updated the outputs of our process, so we should also update the meta.yaml file of the process with elif core modules lint, the process name, and then -this fix. This will fix it for us, so we don't have to manually update it. And you will see that the versions gets added here and also to the topics section of this. So then you still need to add the type and the description. So I'll quickly do this. So type string, description, process name, for example. Then same thing here, the tool name. And then this uses a special new type. So not type string, but type eval, because it's actually this command that gets evaluated by Nexto instead of just this string that gets opened by the process. So then we will do the same thing with pgzip. So like this. And then we can just rerun the lint command with the fix, and it will copy over these things to the topics section for us. So then that way we don't have to copy paste everything. So this should be enough now to actually make a pull request with for the module and upload it to the modules repository. So in the meantime, let's see, our pipeline has successfully finished, and in the output of the multiqc, it should now contain both the versions for fastqc and all the other tools that are still in the pipeline, which is just fastqc in this case. So I hope this was clear, and if there are any more questions, I'm happy to answer them now.
Thank you very much. Matthias said that tools lint -- fix will add type and description in the future. And Mahesh was asking, what is the double / for in the eval?
Let me go back to that. So this you mean probably. This is part of the actual tool that command that is used to generate a version of the tool. So this just removes bedgo VCF version from the output of the command and replaces it with nothing. So it's actually just the set command that's been used in this case.
Sorry that I did not do it before, but now anyone can unmute themselves and ask the questions directly to you. So if there are any more questions.
You got an example for Python or R?
Yeah, that's a good question. Nexo for the moment doesn't support the eval outputs definition for the modules yet. So we still have to use the versions.yaml file in those cases. Yeah, it's a bit sad, but I've brought it up with Ben, and he's looking into it, and maybe it will be added in some future version of Nexto. But for now, we still have to use the versions.yaml file for every module that uses R or Python, for example.
is there a solution also for perhaps dynamic versions? So, for example, there's the Quarto notebook where you could have multiple user-defined packages. I
Mhm.
guess that would also have to be done with the versions.yaml as well
Yeah,
until,
I think all those special cases will still have to be done with the versions.yaml for now, but you can still add the versions.yaml to the topic, for example, and pass it through your pipeline that way. So you don't have to use the channel versions every time. You can just add it to the topic and it will still work. So
And then,
that's just a workaround for now, but once it's been fixed on the Nextdoor site, then you can actually update those processes too.
yeah, according to Matthias, this still needs to be added to the docs. So currently this is not found in docs. Is that correct, Matthias?
Yep, that's good to know.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we should document all these changes.
Yep.
Or these missing things for now.
so does the template still cater for both versions now, this eval tuple and the versions
Yeah.
YAML?
So if I go back to the actual code that processes this, you see we create two inputs here. So the first part, this topic versions and topic version strings, actually analyzes the topics. So it looks it looks at it if it's a version file, so version YAML, or if it's tuple, for example, and it will do different things for both, and then pass it directly into the old version of the old software versions that's to YAML output, and then it gets put into the file. So it should be exactly the same thing. It will work for both cases, I think, for the foreseeable future. Yeah.
Maxime is asking if there's a plugin.
Yes, Maxime made the plugin. Yeah, we will add it to one of the future versions of NF Core tools. We'll use just the NFT utils, NF Core utils plugin to actually process this for you, so you don't have to have this big block of code inside your workflows. But it's the way we do it right now until the plugin is 100% stable, and then we'll just migrate everything over to there.
Very good. Maxime wants to make sure that everyone knows Edmund also had his hands on the plugin. I have a question. Does this work with any Nextflow version, or do we need to update to the newest version for this?
It should be possible. It's been implemented since, I think, 25.04. So everything above that should work for that. And in the template, I think we use 25.04 as lowest. I'm not sure yet. Let me just take a look actually at the config file. Yes,
Matthias says
yes. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, 2504. So if you use the latest version of the template, then it should be fine.
Perfect. And one more question. In your linting, there was still one failed test. What was that?
Yeah, I forgot to update the last command here, so that's why.
Okay.
I was hoping no one noticed.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Are there any more questions from the audience? If not, where would people be able to ask more questions in the future?
You can just directly ask in the modules channel, or we also have a specific topic versions adoption channel from the hackathon, but I'm not sure that channel will stay open for much longer. So maybe just ask your questions directly inside of the modules channel, or the pipeline maintainers channel, depending on your questions. Just the normal channels we already use for just asking questions about it.
Great. With that, if there are no more questions, I want to thank you for your time and giving us an update on topics. Now I also know what they are for. And I thank everyone for chiming in today, and I hope to see you for our next Bite-Size channel. Bite-Size Talk, not channel. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.